Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ATR's War, Wrestlemia's premier wrestling podcast covering AEW to WWE. I'm Sam the sLb, future governor of NXT and co-host with ATR's War and ATR Rising Sun. And where is everybody? Where did everybody go? That's right. Yours truly is doing a solo episode. It's been a long time coming. You know, they're all worried. They're all scared. Maybe I don't have the title under my belt for the Wrestlemania Championship. However, what I do have is the NXT governorship on my way to victory. I cannot wait to get my hands on that. I can't wait to rub it in all of their faces, especially Wrestling's Nostradamus, the man who started with me, Scott, as well as the third man, the man in black, the main recipient of the Clone Ethan 2026 campaign, my co-host from ATR Rising Sun, and the current Wrestlemania champion, Ethan, and of course, returning star, above the rings ambassador of the IWC, the man with all the stats, John, the stat man. They're all nervous. They're all worried. They think they can gang up on me and just take me out, and I'll never have the title in my hands. No. There is a huge chance I'm taking away this NXT governorship. I know it gets under his skin, Scott's skin specifically, but it's fine. It's okay. It's okay, Scott. We can't win everything, can we, buddy? No, sirree, Bob. No, we cannot. As for Ethan, you watch way more than I ever get to, and you're on top, and I don't see that changing, but you're going to keep the little man down. And as for John, did you just come in here and waltz right in and take my spot? No, guys. Hear me out. You guys, this is the beginning, as Triple H would say, of a new era. That's right. A new era. A WolfPac, if you will. That's right. sLb WolfPac Party of One. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds like a good faction name. I'm going to get red face paint next time we do this. Me, sLb WolfPac Party of One. That's my one-man faction. All right. Before I begin and continue this ramble, guys, please make sure you like, share, subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and join our Discord. Coming up this weekend, guys, AEW Grand Slam Australia. Why is my computer slow? I don't know. 6 matches on the card currently. It's just a super card, but who knows? Maybe Tony adds another 30 before this show starts. So we have Orange Cassidy, Tony Storm taking on the Death Riders, Wheeler Yuta, and Marina Shafir in the mixed tornado tag match where a loser gets their head shaved. Hangman and Andrade El Idolo are taking each other on to win a title shot at Revolution. Moxley is defending the Continental Championship against Tenosuke Takeshita. Babes of Wrath taking on Megabad for the AEW Women's World Tag Championships. The newly crowned TNT champion Kyle Fletcher is taking on Mark Briscoe in a ladder match. And then main event, MJF's defending his AEW World Championship against Brody King. It should be a good show. Yeah, good show. Where is my NXT list? I just had that in front of me because I wanted to go over those as well. Just so I can rub it in. Because why not? Because I can. Because I can, folks. Where did this go? I should have pulled this up. That's not on you. That's on me. But with the next one coming up, Ethan and Scott would have this right up here, and they'd be like, oh, this is why you're not going to be champion. This is why I'm going to be champion. Because I'm doing these shows solo as WolfPac Party of One. Oh, we got nothing on the books, it looks like. So the next show we have on the books, we will make note of it, and they will lose. They're going to lose. It's going to be my title. It's going to be my governorship. It's going to be like our secondary title, but really it's the big title. It's the one that matters the most. Because, yeah, I might not be the Wrestlemania champion. I may not have to do all the press work. Well, I still have to do all the press work. But it's my belt, my title. Neither of them, the three of them, will not take that from me. So, a couple things going on. I don't have too much, being a solo episode. I want to cover this topic that's been going around. WWE reportedly calls meeting due to lower than expected WrestleMania 42 ticket sales. This is off of Yahoo Sports from this afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern. Earlier this week was revealed plans for WrestleMania 42 in Vegas were uncertain after WWE was disappointed with the current ticket sales for the two-night event. WrestleCritics recently reported that WrestleMania 42 had distributed 36,000 tickets each night thus far, which is currently not on track for the 56 to 60,000 from 41. And they're going to work on increasing. Cheapest seat available, $266.80. $260.88 to look from the nosebleeds. Yes. I think the ticket sales are going to go up. I think they're going to probably fill that up. The problem here, I personally think, it's twofold. They are expensive. However, people will do anything to go to these big events. Super Bowl is another one. People spend outrageous amounts of money to go to these events because there's a demand for it. So they can always bump the prices up. So if you want to see the prices go down, you got to not buy. And I think there's going to be a point where they're not going to sell. You might hit that peak where everyone's like, dude, I cannot pay $1,000 to sit in the nosebleeds in Saudi Arabia and that's a conversation for another day when they are in Saudi for Mania, where you cannot pay for pay that kind of money. And on top of that, Fightful Select also mentioned that watch parties at venues within 50 miles of Allegiant Stadium will be prohibited. So if you're in a hotel room, sorry, I can't say hotel room, but if you're there's a bar or something within 50 miles, you cannot stream it. You cannot have a watch party at your venue, which is frustrating. Because let's say it sells out. Maybe you want to do something. Maybe you want to go out with friends and do it. Maybe you're in a bar. Hey, we're open. Why don't we do something for people who can't get there, who are going to be here? Or maybe they're going to night one, not night two, or vice versa. I think this could hurt them in the long run, especially with the fact that they got to pay $30. Keep in mind, we're paying $30 for ESPN monthly now. I'm curious on how this is going to play out in the long run. I know, excuse me, I feel like a little congested, but don't mind. This can hold out for a few years, but I feel like there's going to be a point where the fans are like, I cannot do this. Between inflation, everything going up, the price of this going up, if you guys don't show up and go, hey, I cannot afford this, I'm not going, that might send the message. Hey, maybe we should lower this. You shouldn't take it it's going to Disney all the time. You have we live in the state, you get an annual pass, and it is cheaper to have the annual pass because it's between $175 to $200 a day for one park. And we're lucky. Me and my girlfriend, we're grateful. We actually are able to go more than most people do. However, there are people who have to travel. You have to talk about flights. You have to talk about hotels. You have to talk about buying the tickets. Take out life savings accounts to do this. Don't do that. Do not do that. Highly ill-advised. Because A, you're going to hurt yourself. B, you send the message of, oh, this is not affordable. So I think this year it will be fine. I think the winter Riyadh will be fine. I'm curious about the next 5 or 6 years after that. Especially with people feeling like WWE's been struggling, with Roman winning the Rumble. I don't hate the choice. I feel like there's a lot of other options you could have had. Whether it be LA Knight, I'd even take Seth Rollins again, or you could use Braun Breaker. Obviously, he's now injured. He's sidelined for now. You have these individuals who could have won. Even if they lose at Mania, it would have been an opportunity to do something. So, keeping an eye out on that as we speak. Now, hopping over to Dynamite. I don't know who watched Dynamite this week, and there goes my article. We had 2 title changes, guys. Title changes do not need to happen on pay-per-views. All right? They can happen on cards. Do I think two is kind of like pushing it a little bit? But if you didn't watch, spoiler alert, guys, a lot had happened. So first and foremost, Tommaso Ciampa ended up losing the title to Kyle Fletcher. So he could have a hero's welcome when he's back home in Australia. And of course, Mark Briscoe came out and was like, all right, well, you beat me, so I'm going to come out and call you out. And they're like, well, if you want to grab this, you have to grab it one more time, or try to grab it one more time from a ladder. So we get in this ladder match. Really super curious about how that goes. I actually really liked this episode of AEW. I know not everyone's like, oh, you're just coping. I know the ratings are, down. TNA's at 216. That's great for TNA. We're glad. We want all of them to go up. We don't want one over the other. That's how we end up in the 20 years of bullshit that we had during the 2000s and the 2010s. We need to, if you like that, I don't know. I don't know how who's shitting your Cheerios. Like what you like. But also, if there's an opportunity to grow, because we saw WWE in AEW, we saw the wrestling industry grow when AEW showed up. Not to knock New Japan, not to knock what Ring of Honor was doing, not to knock what TNA was doing. But we want them to be successful. And I've said this a million times. So I really enjoyed this episode of Dynamite. There were some really good matches. Obviously, we also had the Kenny and Swerve, meetup. Didn't think I'd be so excited for this one. Not to knock their talent. I was like, all right, Kenny and Swerve. I'm drawing a blank on when and if we've had this before. But I thought the promo between them was great. I'm going back. But if you haven't seen it, Tommaso Ciampa taking on and losing the title to Kyle Fletcher for him to become a multi-time TNT champion. Solid match. We had Clark Connor show up. I totally forgot. Is he signed with them? I don't remember if Clark is officially signed with AEW. However, I'm glad to see him. I do like his theme song here. I think he has potential in AEW. We didn't get to see too much of what he was doing in New Japan. He was junior heavyweight stuff. But since the Bullet Club dissolved, there's a lot of that talent who I feel like still has an opportunity to shoot to the top. And Clark could be a continental champion. I think he's like an upper mid-carder. And he could be a champion one day. What do I know? Him and Gabe are there. I don't know if he signed. It doesn't... Sorry, I'm looking... He's signed in New Japan still. Makes appearances. I don't know. Maybe he stays. Maybe he goes. Should I stay or should I go now? Haha. If you know the song reference, listen to the review room. Where John and we are reviewing albums now. We're going and reviewing, if you like metal, progressive rock, hard rock albums. As they come out, we are reviewing them. So, total sidebar once again. And then, of course... Shocker. We had a triple threat, Young Bucks, Rascals, and Private Party. It's starting to feel like a little bit of like some old school AEW. Old school. It's kind of a weird way to say that now for early AEW. Like 7 years ago. I forgot who won this number one contenders match. Young Bucks did. Once again. And then the main event, Women's World Championship, Chris Statler and Tekla. Where actually Tekla pinned Statlander. So I was actually surprised, and I'm glad, because Tekla is really good. I love the character. I love her promos. I love her ring work. I think she has it. She has the it factor in the women's division. Just like I say, Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale do. Tekla has the it factor. And it was a solid match. I mean, Chris was bleeding at one point. I totally looked away and no idea where it started. Banger. And if Ethan was here, Ethan would probably tell you this was an Ethan pick. So I would say if you haven't watched AEW in a while, at least go back and watch this episode from this past week, because I thought this was, I enjoyed it. I thought it was solid. I thought it was fun. And look, I got cats busting in, because that's what they do. They knock the door wide open because they're like 4 inches big. Anyways, go check it out. Grand Slam, I'm super excited for. Guys, enjoy what you like. Enjoy what you like. I know we all have our struggles. There are things that I want. I have trouble sometimes watching the WWE product. I am a prog metal head. Somebody likes progressive rock, progressive metal. Long, complicated songs that most people do not like. And that's fine. That's me. That's my decision. So, guys, this is going to be really short, but I do appreciate you for listening. If you don't already do so, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. You can find me as the sLb Official. You can find me running the Bedlam Media page as well as media_Bedlam. John and I have brought back the review realm. Like I said, we're reviewing albums. We're doing pretty good, and I'm enjoying it, and you guys should enjoy it. Go and listen to us as well. We're on all streaming platforms. If you cannot find us on there, please let us know. We'll put ourselves on there. Leave a comment, leave a review. Tell people why Above the Ring and Bedlam Media is the podcast of your choosing and why they should listen to us as well. Guys, thank you so much for listening. This has been the sLb WolfPac Party of One. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, do not forget to join the Bedlam. Thanks, guys.